Hello everyone. When the T20 World Cup was going to start, everybody expected a good game of cricket. But who would have expected that before any cricket would start, a game of chess would be played? A game of chess where each player was making a calculated move. And it was a game of inflated egos, selfishness, and hypocrisy. There are three major players in this game and one minor player who played a cameo. First, let's talk about the cameo, and that is Bangladesh. This all started last year when Sheikh Hasina's government was toppled by the student movement. After that, the Islamists took over along with the students, and there was a rise in violence against religious minorities, particularly the Hindu community. This made a lot of headlines in India, and the right wing wingers had taken note about this. But all of this escalated in December when Dipu Chandra Das was lynched by a mob in Bangladesh. This meant that the Hindu right wing also was up against arms in India, and they put a lot of pressure on BCCI to remove Mustafizur Rahman from the IPL, where he was selected to play for KKR in this year's IPL. BCCI, let's talk about BCCI a little bit later. Now let's see what Bangladesh did. Actually, I appreciate Bangladesh for this action, and I don't see anything wrong in them asking to shift their matches into another country, which is Sri Lanka, which is the co-host. But the problem was that the ICC was adamant, and Bangladesh too were adamant as well, which meant there was a deadlock, and finally it resulted in them being ousted from the 2026 World Cup. But what makes Bangladesh hypocritical over here is the same Bangladesh which refused to send their cricket team to India, citing security, sent their umpire to India to officiate in the very same Cricket World Cup, and they also sent their shooting team for the SARC championship that was held in India. So again, just like India and Pakistan, Bangladesh too used cricket as a political tool to make their statement. Now let's look at Pakistan. Pakistan was no way related to this entire fiasco, but then due to the political differences that was growing between Bangladesh and India, Pakistan felt this was a good chance to make their moves. And also, not only was this move political, but it was also financial as well. Pakistan always felt they were being handed a raw deal in the ICC funds that they receive every year. They receive somewhere around 38 million, and India receives around 120 to 130 million from all the ICC trophies that are ICC tournaments that are played almost in on a yearly basis, be it the Champions Trophy or the T20 tournaments, or the ODI tournaments, which is played once in 4 years. So it's always been there almost on a daily basis, and the broadcasters shell out a fortune for these. That's the reason India and Pakistan have been continuously placed in the same pool in each and every tournament. So Pakistan felt that since the India-Pakistan summit clash generates the most amount of money, they felt that they needed to be paid a little bit more. And also, if you remember, for Mohsin Naqvi, who's also the Interior Minister of Pakistan, he faced an embarrassment during the recently held Asia Cup, where the Indian team refused to take the trophy from him. And he was waiting for his time, and he was biding it. And this is when he decided that he needs to enter. Now, Pakistan have claimed that they are going to boycott the match against India. What makes this stance hypocritical is the day they made this, the government announced, the Pakistani government announced on X, which was formerly Twitter, that the Pakistani cricket team would boycott their match against India on the 15th of Feb. On the very same day, India under-19 team also played against the Pakistani under-19 team in the recently held under-19 World Cup, which India won. They if they don't want to play India, then they shouldn't have played even against India in the under-19 World Cup as well. Okay, let's decide. Let's forget that since they had not taken a stand earlier, so that would put them in a fix. But on the very 15th Feb, the under-19 women's team of India is playing on the under-19 women's team of Pakistan, whereas there is no statement about that. Even the teams have been announced, etc. Everything is going fine out there. So again, Pakistan is being selective. I don't think this has anything to do with Bangladesh, because Bangladesh themselves have said that they are not going to pursue this further with the ICC Dispute Resolution Committee. Also, they have all the right to say that they are implementing the force majeure, wherein it is something wherein a certain kind of an act where it's not under their control, like a natural disaster or a government interjecting, etc. And in this case, the government has interjected and said that they cannot send because of security concerns, and that's valid because India too did the same during the Champions Trophy last year in February. Hence, India and Pakistan agreed to have an hybrid model for the next 2 to 3 years. So I think ICC has also decided to even give some kind of compensation with Bangladesh, and I think there is an underhand dealing with them. That's the reason they have been silent all along, without any kind of complaints about being unfair, about any unfairness or anything else. Whereas it is Pakistan which jumped in, saying that this is being unfair. If you look at the BCCI stance, this is something which I have been telling repeatedly since 2014. I don't agree with the BJP government using cricket as a tool. They first said they don't want to have bilateral cricket with Pakistan. Has that changed anything between the two countries? We still had Uri after that. We had Pahalgam. We had Pulwama. We had so many after that. I don't understand what is the reason. And the astonishing fact is, India goes to Pakistan to play in the Davis Cup. They play against Pakistan in hockey or in football, in volleyball, in snooker, in squash. They play them in every other game. Whereas in terms of cricket, just because that is the most popular sport in both these countries, that is being used as a tool. Okay. Let's take for matter that, okay, let's understand and say that because Pakistan promotes terrorism in India, we should not play them. Okay, let's take that at face value. After Pahalgam in April, I don't see any reason why India had to play Pakistan in Asia Cup. You say that Pakistan is the one who did the terrorist act. You had a mini war with them. Both sides claimed a victory. Just like now, if you switch on the Indian television today, you will see every news channel saying that Pakistan is down on its knees. It's going to be begging in the future. If there's sanctions imposed on it by the ICC, they will have no foreign players in the PSL. The PSL will be a disaster, etc. On the other hand, if you look at Pakistani channels, they say that both the ICC and BCCI have been brought down to their knees. They are begging Pakistan to not boycott, etc. Similarly, during the conflict, both the sides claimed victory. While Pakistan said they apparently shot down 6 Rafales without producing any shred of evidence. On the other hand, India claimed that they hit deep inside Pakistan, including the military installations and air bases. And also there was some kind of an aerial imagery that was provided as evidence. So, if India should not have played in the Asia Cup. Okay, fine, because the broadcasters had already paid and everything. There was some kind of an pressure from the broadcasters that India had to play. In that case, why there's no reason for them to not shake hands with Pakistan. It makes absolutely no sense. You're playing with them, you're doing everything, but you don't want to shake hands. I think Pakistan's complaint over here since last year has been correct. That India has been deliberately and continuously been mixing politics with sport, with cricket. They want to play against Pakistan. They don't want Pakistan to boycott, but at the same time, India does not want to shake hands with them. Even during the toss, there will be 2 separate commentators interviewing the players. All this makes no sense. And again, if you see, India says that India plays against Pakistan only in ICC tournaments, but they don't play against Pakistan in the ICC Test Championship, which is also, remember, an ICC tournament. And just because India was adamant that they don't want to play bilateral cricket with Pakistan, ICC bended backwards and changed the rules of the ICC Test Championship, wherein they could choose any 6 countries they want to play in one particular cycle. So this meant India could avoid playing against Pakistan. So India, what Nazir Hussain said is completely true. Imagine if India said that they would be, if this particular tournament this year was being held in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, and India said that they don't want to play their matches in Bangladesh and want their matches to be shifted to Sri Lanka. What would the ICC have done? Would they have given the same 24-hour or 48-hour time limit, and once that was crossed, they would have just ousted India out of the tournament and invited a team like Scotland? There's no way, because India brings the big bucks. So that is why India, there has always been a stepmotherly treatment to the other boards. It's high time that everybody has a level playing field. I know many of my fellow Indian friends would not agree with this, but remember, I also support the Modi government in many instances. But cricket is something I believe should be left alone. Cricket is something which is played, it's called a gentleman's game. It's played with a certain amount of sportsmanship spirit. Or at least, if you don't want to play engage with Pakistan, then just don't play them. Why do you want to play them in World Cups? Just tell the ICC that we are not going to play Pakistan. Look what is going. Pakistan is today gloating that that they have brought they have turned the cricketing world upside down. But I would like to tell Pakistan only one thing. Just imagine India saying the same thing. That would cause a much more uproar. If India boycotts a whole tournament, the tournament itself will not take place. So there is a lot of hypocrisy in the stance of the BCCI, wherein they don't want to engage with have any kind of interaction with the they don't even want to shake hands with the Pakistani player. Don't want the Indian players to shake hands with the Pakistani players, but still they want to make money that comes with by playing Pakistan. I don't think there is any kind of justification for this. Finally, we have the ICC, which, remember, ICC is not a FIFA, a body like the FIFA or the IOC. Imagine if India will do the same thing in hockey or in football. They cannot, because if they do this, if they have with the IOC will oust India without any second thoughts, because the IOC does not care whether India is going to bring any kind of money or not. The same thing goes with FIFA. And also remember, in both these, India is a minor player when compared to the other countries like US and or in case of football, England or Brazil, etc. So here ICC is almost like a secondary office of the BCCI. What should the ICC have done when Bangladesh put forward their concerns? Just like how they have ever started engaging with Pakistan, trying to cajole them and pamper them, they should have done the same thing with Bangladesh as well. Taken Bangladesh into confidence, listen to their concerns, and try to do whatever it takes to keep them, to ask them to let them play in India, as well as also continue forward with them, and also give them some kind of a monetary benefit or something. The problem with all this issue is this could have been handled a little bit more delicately. When there was pressure on the BCCI to oust Mustafizur, BCCI could have done one thing. All they needed to do was they should have told that we'll first get this T20 World Cup done with, and then take a call, because there's still a few months for the IPL to start. I don't think there were demonstrations all over. Yes, at that particular time, because of the lynching of Deepu Chandra Das, and there were a few more spate of violences against Hindus in Bangladesh. At that time, the atmosphere was sensitive. There was pressure, but BCCI should have issued a statement that they will look into this matter, and just stalled it. But the problem is that they did not anticipate such a strong reaction from Bangladesh. They said that they thought that Bangladesh would not mind, would take it in their stride. But Bangladesh stood firm, and I support Bangladesh stance completely over here. If Mustafizur was removed by just because there would be some kind of security concerns of a Bangladeshi player playing, and the Hindu right wingers did not want it, then obviously Bangladesh is right in saying that how can they send their whole team over there to play when even one player playing in India is a problem. How come the whole team playing in India would not be a problem? I understand that the BCC, the IPL and the T20 World Cup are different, but here the point is a Bangladeshi player playing in India. It's not a point of the Bangladeshi player playing in IPL or not. So the ICC should have handled this matter also, should have stepped in and handled this matter a little bit more delicately. India, if you see in the 2024 World Cup, India had played all the matches, the preliminary round matches in one stadium, whereas other teams were traveling. The same thing happened even in the ICC, also in the Champions Trophy. There are 3 grounds in UAE, but India played all the matches in only one ground. They did not have to travel while the others are traveling. Yes, we can counter argue that during the 2023 World Cup, while all the other teams played the whole tournament in just around 4 or 5 grounds, India played each match in a different ground. But that was because each association wanted to host at least one. Each state association wanted to host at least one match, and it was because of that and not because of any other reason. So the ICC has been favoring India, and if you notice, voices have been are being raised about this, be it ex-cricketers like Nasser Hussain, Atherton, etc., or even Indian journalists like Sharda Ugra, etc. And everybody is right, because we can blatantly see what is happening. So as I'm speaking now, the ICC has sent a delegation to Pakistan. Even the chairman of the BCB is also in Pakistan. There are some talks going on. What is being reported widely in both the Indian and Pakistani media is that Pakistan might be given some kind of a monetary compensation. Pakistan seems to be also asking for a bilateral series with India in the ICC Test Championship, but I don't think that's going to happen, because the bilateral series are completely in the hands of the boards, and the ICC does not usually interfere. But if if all the parties would want it, always we can find a way out. But normally the ICC would not force India, and with Jay Shah now being the chairman of the ICC, there's no way. But I sincerely request the Modi and Amit Shah and the current BJP dispensation to leave cricket outside of the politics. If you don't want India to play Pakistan, don't play anywhere, not just bilateral cricket. Don't play in any kind. If India will skip a couple of ICC tournaments, the whole cricketing infrastructure will fall down. I'm sure there are ways in which you can isolate. If you want it, go all the way. Do this and ask the cricketing world to choose one party between India and Pakistan, and then see what is going to happen. Why is it that India plays against Pakistan in every other sport? Because India wants to host the Commonwealth Games and the Olympic Games in the coming years, in the future, in the next coming editions, maybe in 10 or 15 years. And India cannot do this in any other sports. The IOC will just chuck India out. That is the reason they are doing this only in cricket and not in any other game. I'm sure many of my Indian friends would not like it, but just tell me why India needs to play Pakistan but not shake hands. That makes absolutely no sense. If you're playing with them, then play properly, or just don't play. Bangladesh took a very clear stand. They just did not want to tour India, and they were even ready to be ousted of the tournament. But what did India do? They did not want to tour Pakistan, and the ICC just asked them to play in a hybrid model. Everybody should be given this. It's not just selectively for one country, because it brings all the money and the moolah. Okay, then this is what my thoughts were with regards to this this particular issue. You guys can also let me know what you think about, and until then, please like, share, and subscribe my channel. From now on, I will be regularly posting my thoughts on various current affairs and other issues. Thank you very much. Bye bye.